Now, this is a video I didn't think I would make, but here we are. Wicked versus Moana 2, both at the theaters. Which do you think would be better? I know I'm not the target audience for either of these movies, but I decided to go see these because they were both being presented in 3D. So when I'm doing these 3D reviews, so this is what changed my mind. I even wasn't even thinking about Wicked, but or Moana 2 really, but they turned out they were going to be presented in 3D. And I'll say I was really genuinely impressed with Wicked. Yeah, it's actually a good movie. Wicked, and then Moana 2, I was entertained. But I would say, yeah, overall, I would say Wicked was the better movie. Now, as far as the stories go, Wicked was, a pretty good story. Basically, this is a prequel to The Wizard of Oz. So, if you already know the story of The Wizard of Oz, you should by now. It's like it's an old movie, but the prequel and talking about Elphaba, how she ends up being the Wicked Witch of the West. But this is like how she becomes that. And I thought the story was pretty good. It's like, yeah, it was a pretty good story. Moana 2 on that, yeah. I mean, the story was good. It was entertaining, but it wasn't up to the level of Wicked. I mean, the story. I mean, I decided to go see Moana. Before I went to see this, try to get some background, and I think the first Moana was a better story. So, but I mean, it was a still entertaining movie. But the story, it's okay for me. Now, when it comes to comparing the cinematography or basically the visuals, like it's kind of hard to compare because this Moana 2 is all 100% computer generated movie, where Wicked, has some computer generated effects in it, but there was definitely a lot of effort made for Wicked, and I'm still impressed with how the set pieces were put together, and then the costumes and all that. I mean, even with the background scenery, the practical effects and all that, and then a lot of good air, like in the beginning of the movie, and the end, some aerial shots. I mean, it looked great. However, Moana 2 was like so visually appealing. As far as the visuals, it was really impressive. I mean, even as you can see with this shot, there's like a lot of good contrast from dark and light. You see with this the luminescence, I think, what you call it. But no, I mean, this movie, Moana 2, this is a movie that the way they designed it was definitely should be seen on the big screen. I'm not saying you have to see it when reading, but it should be. It was made to be seen. This is like a visually stunning movie, and that's why I think the visuals for Moana 2 are better. Even though Wicked has very good cinematography, but I'd have to say give it the edge to Moana 2 because I mean everything in this movie. I mean every scene looks like a still shot that could go on your screensaver. That's like every scene. You pause it and it just looks great. When it comes to acting, hands down, like I mean, well, again, comparing this with Moana 2, a computer generated movie. I guess you would have to compare the 40 second, but I guess they might have done mocap. But hands down, Wicked, they smoked 1 or 2. Just, I mean, the acting was good, and I'm kind of surprised that the acting was good in this movie. I'm really not into determining who's like the best actor and actresses or whatnot, but no, they did a good job, and I wouldn't be surprised somebody end up winning an Academy Award for this, getting the Oscar for this movie. That's how I was impressed with the acting. But yeah, they Moana 2. I mean, the voice acting was good. I mean, characters, how they act and interact with each other, but there's really no comparison with Wicked. Now, both these movies have songs in it, so I guess they could both be considered musicals. More Wicked, more musical. Uh, but yeah, Wicked again. They smoked Moana too, as far as like the singing, the vocals. I mean, I said before the actresses they picked for these roles were like the best qualified for this because they can sing. The quality of singing was top notch. Moana too. I mean, the scene was okay. I mean, it was alright. It's not it just wasn't as memorable as Wicked, but I mean, it is what it is. I'm not big into musicals, but I mean, it was okay. But Wicked two, nah, Wicked two had it. As far as comedy, I would give it to Moana two. I mean, Wicked it had some funny moments, and there was like this one moment where a character does something and like I went to season 40 and then the chair did something with the character and that kind of enhanced like the comedy aspect of what she was doing, but overall Moana 2 had some more funny moments, so I give comedy to Moana 2. Now we're going to talk about the optional choices, and it might be kind of unfair to include this, but it's like the main reason why I went to see these movies. 3D and 4D. So the 3D for Wicked, it was definitely a visual upgrade. I would say that it was definitely a visual upgrade. It was, I would say, it was immersive like throughout the movie. Not too immersive, but it was immersive enough. Now, as far as it being engaging, not really for the first 2/3 of the movie, but the last third, it was engaging, and it was like no, the climax was like really good in 3D. So it was like there was more action that I expected to happen at the end of this movie, but as action like reaches to the climax, and boy, it's like the 3D pays off at the climax. Really, I mean, leading up to the climax is engaging. There's, as you can see, and it's still like broken glass, but like it's really good. Now, Moana 2 and 3D, it's very impressive. It's like seems like it's always something moving, especially like most of this movie takes place in the sea, and you can see the water, the ocean from a distance or up close, and it's you also see the waves. But in 3D, it looks very good. This is a very dynamic movie visually. It's immersive and there's engaging moments, but they're like really quick and short. But when it happens, it happens. So I didn't really like reel back in my seat, but they're there. They're just quick. But this is more of an immersive experience, and it does a good job of like making you feel immersed and then accentuating the actions going on, just like different like things going on, like characters like swinging around like the boats and swimming and just water splashing and it's just arrows flying. So yeah, it overall the 3D experience from Moana 2 was better. I think you get more bang for your buck with the 3D experience. Now there's one flaw, and I've mentioned this in my prior video with Wicked is the 4D experience. It was a for me it was terrible. Well, it was more annoying than anything, but it was just bad. I mean, as far as like the motion of the scenes, they did a good job with moving with the motion with the actors and all that. My problem was when they played music, certain notes, there would be this hard rumble. I've mentioned this before, and it's like I was getting headaches. So that was bad. And this, like I said before, is bad for a movie that's 2 hours and 40 minutes. And it was just unacceptable. Now the thing about this, why I forgot when I went to go see Wicked. Um, the seats have, I think they have settings on. There's like levels that you can move the levels to, but I forgot about that, and it might have been on the highest setting, but I'm not sure about that. And on top of that, I um I didn't have that issue with Moana 2 as far as the music, because Moana 2, when you hear music, it's like a soft rumble. Really, it's not like a hard vibration. And at the theater I went to, it was the same auditorium as Wicked. So, but I wasn't. I took my tickets. It was the same auditorium, but it was different seats. So, and then also when I saw Venom 2, I checked my ticket on that. It's the same auditorium, not the same seat. So I don't know if it's like a problem with the seat. It could be a seat with that individual seat. I don't know, but Venom, I did have an issue with like a hard rumble with when you're hearing music, like a bass bumping. But I didn't get a headache from Venom. But that was like at the end of the movie. Wicked 2, that was like I had the issue with the music like all throughout the movie. Now Moana 2, that 4D experience, yeah, the seats were in sync with like what was going on in the movie, like rocking boats and other action going on. So, and again, when it seems like there's like really no action, this music playing, it wasn't annoying. It just wasn't like a hard vibration. So you moved around with the characters, like again, like I mentioned, like the characters swinging around. It was swing smooth. The chair was swing smoothly with the characters. So just movement was just in sync. And like you're on the ocean and there's like the waves waving. You feel like you're on an adventure with the characters. So I mean, definitely the 4D experience was way better for Moana 2 than Wicked. Now again, I don't know if there was something with the seats. And with Moana, the chair I was in, I was able to just to change the settings, like the level of vibrations on it. Even though I was having a hard time doing it, so I don't know if there was something wrong with the seat. It probably was, but I I'm thinking it's definitely like a whoever like did the settings at the companies who made these movies. It was set the way that they sent them. I don't think it was something wrong with the chairs. So like with Wicked, I don't plan on going back to see it in 4D, but possibly if I lower the settings on it, maybe it'd be different. If that was depending if it was on the high setting, I can't tell, but I don't know. It's like something with the music. It was like a very hard rumble where the other actions were smooth, so it's just like it was weird. So Moana 2 definitely gets it for 4D. Now, surprisingly enough, I didn't feel like I wasted my money with the 4D experience with Wicked, but because like at the climax, yeah, it was definitely fun to feel the motion of what the characters was going through for the climax, and that was like a payoff for me. I mean, with the 3D combined, it was a great experience with the climax. So overall, I still think Wicked was the better movie. Um, Eventually, I would think eventually, even if you're not interested, you'll probably end up checking it out eventually, like when it's not in the theaters. I would say it's a good movie to watch. Moana 2, on the other hand, that's something that should be seen in the theater. 'Cause, like I wouldn't wait to see this like on a small screen, like on a phone. No, don't do that. Wicked 2 is just a good story. I mean, it's a very good story, and it should be seen on a big screen. But if you had to make a choice, like Moana 2, there's definitely like the visuals are just so great. It's like if you don't see it on the big screen, I would say you have to see it as like on a very high definition TV or something. Or if you're really desperate, I would say go to like if like whenever this movie gets released, um, go to like a I don't know a store that sells like high definition TVs and hope that it's gonna be shown on the biggest screen there just to see the visuals. Because I mean you got to see these visuals to believe them. But that's my opinion. But Wicked was definitely the better movie. Just a little bit, but it was definitely the better movie.